Hi everyone and welcome to Studio de Sol. My name is Lina and in today's video I want to share with you a tutorial on how to create the polymer clay earrings using the stencil. So let's get started. If you want to support me and my channel, don't forget to hit the red button, like this video, leave a comment down below, and let's keep going. To share with you some news, I'm preparing a little introduction course into the polymer clay, my first official polymer clay course. How exciting. I'm gonna be sharing some detailed information later on this week where you can find it. This course is gonna be perfect for the beginners if you just starting working with the polymer clay, or you want to start working with the polymer clay but you don't know where to start. This course is gonna be perfect for you. Here's what I'm going to be using in today's tutorial. I'm going to be using this plastic stencil. Also, I'm going to test out the Cernit line Glamour and some acrylic paint. First, as usual, I'm conditioning the clay. Since this clay is closer to the translucent one, it's going to take more time to get conditioned. And first I'm going over with the rolling pin and then running it through the pasta machine a few times. After the clay is conditioned, I'm flattening this on a pasta machine on a 3rd or 4th level of thickness. Then on top of the clay, I'm adding on the plastic stencil and going over with the rolling pin just to secure it on its spot. After I secured the stencil, I mixed a little bit of the acrylic paint in a small container. And then using the sponge, I start applying the acrylic paint all over the clay. Also here, instead of the acrylic paint, you can use the liquid polymer clay. The difference in between acrylic paint and the liquid polymer clay is that the acrylic paint is going to have more of a solid finish. While my acrylic paint is still a little bit wet, I decided to add on a little bit of the glitter on top of it. Then using the big brush, I'm just spreading it evenly across the sheet of clay. After that, I'm removing the stencil and here how our pattern is looking like. And now it's time to cut out some shapes using the cutters. Then I'm just removing the excess of the clay. To separate the pieces from the table, I'm using the flexible blade and going underneath. While I was applying the pattern on top of our polymer clay, it hardened a little bit, so I'm helping myself with the craft knife to separate from the excess of clay on the edges. Then I'm adding the shapes to the tray and it's time to bake. Then I'm baking the pieces under the constant temperature for 50-40 minutes and removing them just when the oven is cooled down completely. Here's how the clay looks like after the baking. As you can see, it changed a little bit, so that Glamour gave it more of a shimmery finish, and it's still pretty transparent. And after that, I'm just polishing on the edges of all of the shapes. After that, I'm adding the holes for the future fastenings. And then after that, I'm adding the jump rings. And after I added the jump rings, now I'm preparing a little spots where I'm gonna be gluing the stud base earrings. So I'm scraping the surface a little bit and then grabbing a little bit of the glue on the tip of the stud base and pressing it to the clay. After that, I'm leaving the clay to cure for 24 hours. And here's my final results, and because I usually like to reuse some of the polymer clay scraps, you can see that I added on those little flower shaped earrings as well. Also, I wanted to show you the transparency of the clay. It's not as a translucent polymer clay, but it's still pretty transparent. And this is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we see each other in the next one.